And I did tell myself that I was going to do a video on this because somebody asked me a question. Even my sister, she is 27. She's talking about buying a home. And, it's so much, I'm going to say this. There's so much misinformation out there when it comes to buying a home. And I don't know why people really just think you could just buy a damn home just by, swiping your card or anything. Like, it's not that damn easy just buying a home. And we ain't talking about, let's make everything clear. Ain't nobody, unless you super rich and buku crazy, ain't nobody can just buy a house full cash. Not in today's time. No. We talking 300 minimum, because houses are like more expensive now than they were a couple of last 10 years. They'd have jumped up 20% in value. And I can speak on anything. This is one of my niches. It's about finances and credit. I really don't talk about that too much on this channel because, again, I don't want to be too arrogant and but I do know some shit because I am in my second home. So I do know what it takes to become a homeowner, so, but for us, like my sister and anything, so she's looking into like buying her first home with, her boyfriend is not even married, which that's not the point. But I do know anytime if you moving in a home, in that case, they're gonna want to know, especially if you finance it. The bank's gonna want to know who gonna be on the lease, not lease, but who gonna be on the deed. Now, if you going in with somebody, either y'all going in as business partners or y'all gonna be spouse. The bank's not finna play around with that shit. Both people name gotta go on the paperwork. Now, if one person credit is horrible, you may be disqualified because, again, at the end of the day, your DTI still has to be a certain, like if your debt to income ratio has to be a certain, a certain amount, which I think you can't go over 40% of, what your income is and how much debt you should have. You should have down to less than 50. I'm going to just say that. And I think it's like 40, if I can remember. So, y'all, the first step of just getting that house, I'm going to try to make this quick and transparent. But the first thing is make sure your credit is good. Make sure your credit is on point. That's the main thing. If you're financing a home and the people that's lending you money to purchase a home and they see your credit is messed up, how the hell they gonna trust you with a $500,000 house, $250,000 house? If your credit bad, they gonna see all these discharge, these charge offs, repos, and all this shit on your credit. Get that cleaned up. Unfortunately, when I got my first house, only thing is, what I'm saying, I had a lot of old shit on my credit that should have been fell off. But the people that actually helped me, the people that loaned me the money to get the house, they actually recommend a company to help me with my credit. And the only reason why they did that because my first house, I had got it built from the ground up. So it takes about 4 months for them to build. So right while they was building my house, I was working on my credit. That's the only thing I needed to do. Work on my credit, nothing else. And sure enough, when it was time for me to close, I had my credit went from a 520 to like a 715 within those 4 months. And then, that's a good look because before you close the rates, the bank can go in and adjust your rate because they'll have a set rate for you. Or sometimes your rate can be a little bit better based on your credit. So that was a good thing. So anybody trying to get a house, make sure your credit is on point. Again, if you get in a bill, maybe the bank do the same, but they not gonna let you get that house until your credit is. That's just one of the three things. Now the second thing is how long you been at your job. We don't care if you make 200,000, but you've been at your job shit 4 5 months. We don't care you bringing home $5,000 checks. No, we want to know how long you been at your job, because if you inconsistent with working, they don't want to fool people like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird because you think like, well, damn, I'm making the money, but the people want to know how long you've been at this job. And in most cases, 2 years. They would rather for you to be at a job 2 years before you make that jump. Now, I'm finna fuck your head up. There is an exception to this. Now, let's just say you was a doctor, right? And you've been at your job 8 years, right? But you want to move along to a whole another hospital or whoop de whoop. So you change over, you get you another job as a doctor. You still isn't good because they want to know how long you've been in that occupation. They want to know how long you've been a doctor in general. But if you going from a doctor to being like, say, a truck driver, you got to wait 2 years because now that's a whole different profession, and you may not like it. That's just how the banks work. So remember that. Make sure you've been at your job. You can't do no scammy shit because these banks can go back. They go back far. Now I don't know how they do it. They can find out if you lying, you're telling the truth. They damn near like the IRS. Damn near they can find. They know everything about you as soon as they run your credit. Anyway, for those who like to go shopping, they like to just buy shit on credit, or they like to make large purchases. You cannot do that. Once you in the house process, once you in that process where you being watched, I'm telling you, bro, it's almost like they don't even want to sell you the house. They watching your every move. And I cannot address this so much. Like, I'd have seen some people got their application denied because they fucked around and applied for a new credit card. They just applied for a new credit card while they was in the process of getting their house stuff. They was only 2 weeks out of just going. So but they'll tell you this, like, open up any new accounts. Don't make any large purchases, because if they do, they're going to check your bank account too. Now they see a $500 purchase. If they know it ain't no coming from no bill, if they see it from Palais Royals or Macy's, they're gonna ask questions on it. Okay, what is this? They watch your account every 30 days, and they don't want that, bro. They just want to know if I'm telling people don't understand this. When people look at your credit, they judge you based off your credit. Like, they could tell your character. So if your if you running your credit while you in the process of getting a house, you just pretty much messed that process up. And they gotta go and reanalyze this, and even though it's your money, but bro, at this point they over your shit. They want to make sure we are assigning this, we giving a loan out to a guy that's very mature, or a woman that's very mature with spending. Now, if you meet all the criteria, then you, my friend, is ready to become a homeowner. Now, the next step to this process is what type of loan you gonna choose. You got FHA, you got conventional, and you got VA. Now, Fannie Mae and VA damn near, not V, I'm sorry. Fannie Mae and FHA damn near are the same because they're government loans. Like if you was to ever get in like a little bind or anything, those government loans will protect you to help you get back on your feet. Conventional's a little bit more strict. Now, if you want to get into like PMI and all this other stuff, that's for a whole nother video. But conventional gonna always be the best because you get more perks. You don't get hardly any PMI when it comes to like, and pretty much that just them, you paying your insurance because most mortgage companies pay the PMI. But if you're on a government back loan, they actually funding you in the beginning where you don't have to come off a lot of money for closing. So they'll have you pay this a certain amount of PMI every month. So that's the difference, y'all. But I'm not finna get too deep into that PMI. But for as VA, I don't know too much about VA, but I do know them boys don't pay taxes. If they don't pay tax, they don't pay much taxes. So VA, if you in the VA, you're well taken care of when it comes to house. No cap. And my neighbors are being like, I think, veterans. So I'm pretty sure they well taken care of when it comes to that. But y'all need to know these things. Okay, if you're not a veteran, you don't qualify for VA. So it would be FHA or conventional. So they do have first home buyer programs. I was on it in my first house. That's just a little bit more credit to where you don't have to come off a lot of money when it's time to close on a house, because you already gonna get your FHA. You only pay 3.5%, but then once you sign up for that first time buyer program, it's more incentives they throw at you where you don't really have to come off a lot of money. So now that we got this out the way, hold on. So now we got that out the way. The next step is, are you buying a new home or are you buying a used home? Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm not bragging. I'm in my second house. Both of my homes I built from the ground up. So I was able to pick the color cabinets, the floors, and all that. And, but, what I'm saying, when you buying a used home, of course, you just buy whatever that person is selling. Like, you buying it as is, pretty much. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm going to just say this too. If you're buying a used home, you just got to make sure. I wouldn't buy anything past 10 years because a lot of stuff, may start falling apart and it's going to become your responsibility as a homeowner. So, me, I'm too bougie. I am bougie as fuck. I got both of my houses was brand new. I picked every color, flooring, granite countertops. I picked them all, and it felt good doing that. But there's and then also when you buying brand new, you get a lot of perks. You get a lot of incentive. Sometimes these builders will give you an additional $20,000-$30,000 towards upgrades. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you, on my second house that I'm in, I got my house at a fucking discount from the land itself. I think the land on that my house is on, or the lot that my house is on, it's a premium lot, so it's big. If y'all haven't seen my pictures of my backyard and shit, man, I got a big ass backyard. This was like a $20,000 lot. But around the Christmas time, if I was able to lock in the deal, they knocked it half off, so I only paid $10,000 for this premium lot. But to remind you, y'all, I stay in the HOA community. It ain't like I can do the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing too. that's gonna be in another video. But HOA, I'm not an advocate of staying in HOA. I fucked up twice. But anyway, are you gonna be that person to buy brand new or use? But use, you're not gonna get too many incentives. You really just gotta, you buy the house as is, you're gonna have to come off way more money. Just bottom line. Like you buy brand new, they'll give you a incentive towards closing, and the builders just take care of you. They it's so much stuff they can just give. They're trying to make the sale too. So they gonna throw whatever they can throw at you so you can, buy on their property. So y'all, the next step would be, after you've been qualified, what do I qualify for? So let's just say you're qualified 600K. That doesn't mean you go in and order that $600,000 house. That don't mean that, y'all, because I seen people make mistakes when it comes to that. Get what you can actually afford. If they approve you up to 600,000, get 300,000. Don't put yourself like that, bro. Just because, and that's what people be fucking up at. Like, I'm finna lay this shit down little by little, and over the years that I learned with houses and stuff, so people don't make that same mistake. And I ain't saying that I made a mistake, but I'm gonna just tell y'all gotta be aware of a lot of damn things. 600K, no, we're gonna do 300K. You put the order in, you do the 300K. It takes about 2 weeks for them to put paperwork in to start your new bill. And you come back within a week after that, you start picking out what color you want your brick, what color you want the interior. That's the fun part. Going to the design center, picking out different things. Man, that was fun. The design center is the most fun part of being a homeowner. When you get a new bill, because you're gonna see so much shit, and it's gonna be overwhelmed. But take you some food and just relax. But you know what I'm saying? Because again, bring your checkbook, because you gotta pay. I think 3% or whatever you buy in there too. 3% or 1% or whatever you order. And I spent, man, woof. I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, I say I want this. If y'all seen how my house look on the inside, me and my wife, we took advantage of everything that was given. So y'all, the reason why I say I know the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to this house shit, and the reason why I say don't get nothing too expensive, because in most cases, even myself, like, taxes go up, especially if you move in an undeveloped neighborhood like I did. Your taxes not gonna be, they're gonna automatically pay for your taxes before you move in. So everything is gonna be taken care of. So you wouldn't have to worry about taxes to the following year and a half or whatever. And bro, when I say people lose their homes because they didn't, you understand, taxes varies. It may go down one year, it may go up. Don't stay in between two county lines, because you're gonna be paying double the school, double the mud district. You're gonna be paying double of everything. Now, if you thinking when you sign that paper, say, "Oh, I'm only gonna be paying $3,000 a month in this." Oh yeah. Next year roll around, bro, your taxes jump up another $600. And then the following year, it may jump up another 4-5. You went from paying $3,100 to 4,000, 4,100. People, and there's nothing you can do about it, because taxes is uncontrollable. The only thing you really can control is your mortgage insurance, which you have to go call and search for different insurance companies, and your rate just varies. I'm gonna just say your rate is depending on what the market is, because you can't refinance. I wouldn't want to refinance a house if the rates is still high. It's higher than the one that I already signed up for. So, but only thing you really don't have control of is taxes, y'all. Because let's just say you pay your $300,000, $600,000 house off, you still gotta pay taxes. You still gotta pay taxes. Them taxes down there like paying a whole nother rent. Like, I can give y'all a breakdown. You got your principal, you got your taxes, and you got your insurance. Now your principal may be, we're gonna base it off a $3,000 rent or mortgage. Your principal may be $1,500, right? But your taxes is $1,000. Then your insurance may be $300. I'm just guesstimating. They break all this shit down in 3 categories and they put it together, and that's how they come up with your mortgage. The people just don't understand that the taxes side of it, it's a scary game, man. And that's something you need to know when you becoming a homeowner. Like your escrow, you got this thing called an escrow, and all that is just a shortage. I mean, it's just a savings account for your taxes. So if you come up short, they make it pull money out the escrow if you got money in there, or if you over, they'll send you a check, the following year or whatever. But every year you gotta pay your taxes. Could go up, it could go down. So, but back on the part with the design center, it's fun. You go in there, pick what all you want. Pick your color flooring, what type of carpet you want. And like I said, we had fun. But after that, after you get everything locked in, whoop-de-whoop, another week go by. Now they about to break ground with your home. They about to break ground. They gonna have a truck. They gonna drop your whole house. You got your brick, your motor, your your wood, all that shit gonna be on one truck. And honestly, that was another fun thing. Coming every week, I'm seeing they had the dirt, then they had the concrete, then they start the wood. They got done with the first floor within one day. And I'm like, bro, they building this house fast. Like, I'm telling you, man, I was coming out every goddamn day, seeing how far they, develop with my home, man. So after you get through all them steps, with the design center, now it's a waiting game. Your house get built now. You have to get a inspector to come out and make sure everything is good. Of course, you're paying for this. Just letting y'all know you're paying for it. You get an inspector to come out, but you want that because you want to make sure there's no imperfections just going on with your house. Because if there is, you can catch it right before you close. And even if you close and then you cause some shit later, the builder supposed to allow, I guess, your first year, they'll take care of whatever if something is wrong. But you take care of all these things. Now it's time for the close. You go to the title spot, whatever they do your paperwork. Be prepared to stay there minimum 2 hours. Cause when I say the mortgage papers are this goddamn thick, it is this goddamn thick. And they gonna go over every page with this. Bruh. It was like college again. But that is the most simplest I could just explain, because there's so much shit to know, y'all. And all I'm gonna just say is, if you're not a responsible person, and now you know you bad with paying your bills, don't get no house right now. Just don't put yourself in that predicament. But yeah, y'all, for the most part, man, I love being a homeowner. I mean, I'm not gonna say this is my dream home, but this is close enough because I picked every motherfucker, paint all across the board. I'd have picked everything. Me and my wife, we picked. I know I see them white cabinets, kitchen. That was my wife's idea. I like all black, and that's how it was in my first house. I had picked the kitchen, but again, y'all, it's a beautiful feeling. We just, just gotta make sure everything is good. You able to afford it, and you'll be okay.